it off. It was Will Sasso and Alex Borstein, and they're singers,
right.
and they're like, "This is brought to you by the people who brought you. You are the one that I love." And it's literally them just singing "You are the one that I love" over and over again in like
Those are the only
different
lyrics.
tones. And then they're like, and now coming out with their new hit single, "The One That I Love Is You."
Oh my God.
Their new hit single.
And then like 2 years later, they were like, for like 4th of July, they were like, an all new one-time special, one time only, at the Pantages Theater. This is the Lamb that I love for 4th of July. And it's like, there's a part where like there's like this bump, and Will Sasso is like doing his hands. Like, so stupid. That was like the dumbest show, but it was great.
But the skit was like it would start fading out slowly, and it's like ooh, and they like finish it, and then like it like cuts back, and he's like bump. I want to ask you guys, because I was thinking about this the other day. Have you guys ever had like a really traumatic, horrendous bug experience? Like something that just it's changed you as a person?
Yeah, dude. So we were kids, dude. You remember how our room was set up? I had that back room with the window facing the backyard, and I'm playing my computer, bro. And I've got the keyboard and mouse out because that's the only thing we really ever played. I mean, we had a PlayStation, I think, and a Nintendo 64, but I really didn't play it unless we were going to play. I came to your house if we were going to play anything on the PlayStation anyways, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing, I think I was playing like Diablo 2 back then, you know? And I leaned back in the chair because I was looking at my inventory, and no sooner I leaned back in the chair, I swear to God, it looked like a wolf spider crawls up on the mouse, and like it's like front legs are like tapping like the mouse buttons, and it's not moving it, not tapping hard enough to like click anything. But I literally almost went to put my hand down, and you know how you just kind of look where you're gonna put your hand?
Yeah.
I don't always do that. Sometimes
But something looked off.
And I did like shove myself back from the computer. I was like, what the fuck? And I like ran. I ended up getting a vacuum, dude. It just stood there. I fucking vacuumed this thing up, and then I put the vacuum in the garage.
Oh shit.
So
eternal rest.
Dude, my experience, there was one time, it was over in Colton, and it was over at Brenda's apartment at the time. And that was a kind of an interesting setup because the bathroom and shower were like behind a door, but the sink was part of the bedroom, right? And yeah, it's weird.
Sounds like my dorm room. Sounds like my dorm room in college.
What wasn't cool was in the middle of the night, I just got up to pee, almost zombie-like, just washed my hands on autopilot. And then I see I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Oh no.
As water is going down the drain, right? Sure enough, this like water bug crawling up out of the drain, and I'm like, holy shit. And so by the time I got back with the raid, I had like raid akimbo, right? And this thing was like up on the wall.
Dual wield.
Exactly. Should have got a lighter out.
Dude, I was like blasting this thing in the face with 2 cans, and it was just like,
you had to like jump up with your AR and like fire into its back to create a hole and like drop a grenade.
Yeah. The worst one I could come up with in recent memory, at least, it was maybe last year sometime. There was a praying mantis got in the house, and at first I was kind of distracted by that. And I was like, what the, I saw something green in the corner of my eye, but it was sitting on like it was on like the ottoman or something. I thought, oh, that's cool. That's how random. This friggin' mantis is in here. And I thought, I'll just let it do its thing. But I thought, oh no, actually it's probably going to die in here. But it's a good, I thought, I looked it up online real fast. Like, oh, it's a good omen, praying mantis, whatever. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't want to like wreck my good omen. So I'm going to take it outside. So I was like, and I'm trying to get it out there, but it's hopping out of my hand. So I grab it and get it on a paper towel, and it's kind of doing its thing. I get it outside in the backyard, and it starts I freak out because it starts to kind of crawl off of it, try to hop off of it, and it kind of lands on the end of the paper towel, and I'm like, and I kind of like wiggle it.
Too
like,
close.
Yeah, like, okay, we were friends until just, and so I kind of flick it off. It bounces off of the pavement in the backyard onto a web from the lip of the planter down to the concrete.
Oh.
There is the fattest fucking black widow crouched up there and immediately starts charging down that thing. And I was like, oh shit, this is gonna really wreck my good omen. I don't know what to do here. I just kick it with the tip of my toe, little toe poke, and it just falls dead. Falls
Oh,
dead on the ground, and I was like, oh man, I didn't want to have to do that to you.
we're doing our part.
That's right, we're doing our part like the kids
That's
at
right.
home.
That's right. The only good bug is a dead bug.
That's right.
So what do you guys say? Should we mob it?
Let's do it.
Let's mob it.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Afflictionados podcast, episode 59. And with this being our first episode of 2026, welcome to the new year. We're available wherever you normally get your podcasts. New episodes drop on the first Saturday of each month, 5 a.m. Pacific. If you enjoy our content, please consider giving us a like and subscribe. All of our social accounts are bundled together for you in our link tree. My name is Eric, and the other voices occupying your head this time are a man of many traits, philosopher, charmer, future librarian, fancy mattress owner, coffee enthusiast, my good friend, former colleague and co-host, Michael.
Hello.
And also joining us, making his record-breaking fourth appearance on the show following Independence Day, RoboCop, and Jurassic Park. Please join us in welcoming back our friend and squad mate, Cameron.
Oh God, here we go again, man. This is gonna be great, especially after the RoboCop episode.
Let's go.
This is gonna be great, dude.
We're in Verhoeven mode right now.
That's right.
On Afflictionados podcast, we mainly talk about films that range from mind-numbing to mind-blowing. We also cover TV shows and other forms of media. We will be getting into spoilers here, and there will be only the healthiest amount of expletives tossed in. You have been warned. If you ain't ready, then get ready, because in this episode, we'll be discussing the action-packed science fiction film. Hey, we're starting out the year with a bang with this one. We are talking about Starship Troopers, released in 1997, directed by Paul Verhoeven.
Love it, dude.
Boom.
Love it.
Now, I know, Cam, RoboCop for you is always going to be number one in terms of Verhoeven films, but for me, Starship Troopers is my number one Verhoeven film. And I was so fucking stoked to do this movie. So the way that we kind of choose certain episodes here and there, like, it's just kind of like whatever everyone's feeling. But from time to time, I will try to push for an episode. And that's kind of how I was with Starship Troopers. I was like, let's fucking go. Anyone that's down, we're doing it.
I'm glad you chose it, man. You know I'm a big fan of Verhoeven. Love the commercials inside the film. How can you go wrong with it? Any movie that's got, the backing of a novel behind it is going to be a good turnout. And this movie being based on a book written back in 1959 that was just completely pro-war and fascist mentality, it's going to be fun for an action flick, right?
It was polarizing because of that, because of the fact that the themes in it, right? A lot of people are thinking that it was like pro-fascism, and how can you stand by this book? This isn't like Robert A. Heinlein, but I don't know. I almost felt like people didn't quite get it back then. I'm a firm believer that it just kind of flew over people's heads at that time.
I think the whole point of it was it was supposed to be a satire on what pro-war and pro-violence is, and they took it so far over the top as to prove that, like, it's kind of a joke, guys. This isn't real. I mean, they went so far as, like, the people are basically wearing Nazi uniforms in the film. I mean, literally, if you look at, like, the generals and stuff, they look like they came straight out of the Third Reich.
Yeah, they're gray. They look like SS for sure. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I think that sometimes it's kind of like it's that satire in a song. Okay, I don't know if it's that been around the world and found that only stupid people are breeding.
Yeah.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about getting his tongue pierced, and people were starting to get their tongue pierced, and they would come up to him and tell them, hey, I got my tongue pierced because you said that in the song, and not realizing he's just being satirical. It's just kind of like poking fun when people miss the point and
Right.
don't realize that it's actually just being satire. They take it seriously a lot. I mean, yeah. So that's hilarious to hear you guys say that, because it is so over the top for anybody to take it serious. It's so campy. When I saw it in theaters back in 97 when it was released, I remember there's a lot of things I remember. We'll get into that. But
the nudity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were all young at the time. We were like, show us them critters.
Show us. I was like, what? You're not going to make me cover my eyes on this one, Dad?
Yeah, we were 13. I was 13 at the time, bro. It was great.
Oh.
Paul Verhoeven didn't even like the book. I think he said something about getting it like 2-3 chapters in before telling Niemeyer, finish it for me and tell me about it, because he thought it was a terrible book as well.
Well, have you guys read the book yourselves?
Hell
No?
no.
I
Why would I read it? If you told me there was a book before we started doing the podcast, I'd have been like, they made a book about that movie?
You're like, fuck that book. So I actually have read the book, and what I thought was interesting about it was, I guess the original title was Starship Soldier, because it was like a 2-part story for like a magazine or something, and then eventually got published as Starship Troopers. The novel, I read it like a long time ago, and to be honest, I don't remember much about it, and I think that says a lot about it, because I personally thought it was kind of boring too. The thing that I do remember is it kind of starts off, and I remember they're in like these powered suits, and they're almost like hopping with like jetpack assisted hops, and that's kind of how they traverse quickly. I think they're called Marauder suits or something like that, and that's not anywhere in this movie, and I don't even think it makes an appearance until like Starship Troopers 3 Marauder. So I thought it was interesting that it took that long for them to even incorporate something that's in a small book.
Well, and those the next few films weren't made by Verhoeven, right? It was only the first
No,
one, and then
definitely
the rest
not.
were picked up by other. Yeah.
Yeah, those sequels are trash. That TV show is
Hey,
pretty good, actually.
hey, nothing's trash. Every man's trash is another man's treasure.
Don't yuck my yum, dude.
Yeah, there you go, man. That's right.
Just kind of set the setting really quick before we really dive into it. The movie takes place in the 23rd century. Earth is governed by the United Citizen Federation, stratocratic regime, where basically like the government is completely controlled by the military. They have supreme power and all that stuff, and it's basically ran by like old military vets, right? And that's why they put so much emphasis on becoming a citizen by serving, is
Oh.
because everything's kind of militarized. And so in order for you to become a full citizen and have complete rights, you have to serve first. Granted, you also have to survive as well, and it's basically like slim chance that you're actually gonna make it out of there alive or in one piece. But yeah, if you do, then you'll be a citizen by the end of it.
Interesting.
The humans are capable of interstellar travel, and they're going from planet to planet, colonizing and all that stuff. And that's where they run into the antagonist of the movie, called, as they call, Arachnids, or in like a derogatory way, they call them just bugs, right, to just kind of demean them a little bit. I love the way that the movie starts out, because it basically like drops you right in the middle of this battle, and it's like being broadcasted live on the battlefield. For some reason, this is where they show one of the protagonists, and he seemingly gets killed before the feed cuts out, and you're just kind of like, whoa, what the fuck was that? It just throws you right in the action, and it's just so jarring, and I love how they do that.
No, it's a great movie, and what's great about that is that's a recurring theme, that there's these infomercials or commercials in the movie that propel the plot of the movie and give you some knowledge about what else is going on with their weaponry, with their mindset, with the way that they're training kids from the very beginning. I think there's one commercial where they just have kids like stomping on cockroaches.
Yeah.
And they're like, I did my part.
Yeah.
The teacher was like laughing maniacally.
Yeah.
Like,
Maniacally. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, the other one was they're passing out like guns to kids,
kids,
and they're
yeah.
like, no, it's my turn to shoot the gun. It's so crazy.
Oh my gosh. Just interesting way of giving that exposition. You know what I mean? Like you said, those infomercials, like they're giving information, giving you sort of a feel for the place, but without just like telling you what's happening.
It's propaganda is what it is.
That's very Verhoeven, though, is to put the propaganda in the commercial so that you feel like, oh, okay, well, I get why they have that sentiment,
Right.
And and what's cool is you see that scene, and then don't they go straight to the classroom?
Exactly. And so that's when they take a step back. Like it's like what does it say, like 3 years prior?
One year,
something like that. And so they jump back in time. So yeah, it's like they drop you in the middle of this fight, and then now it's like we're taking a step back. And I think the reason for that is because it shows you like how dire things will eventually get. But here's how it starts out. Man, the storytelling, I love it. I love the nonlinear. I'm a big Tarantino fan, so I'm not against the nonlinear storytelling.
Yeah, same.
Right.
So we got Johnny Rico, played by Casper Van Dien. He's like a good-looking teenage, athletic, confident jock. Not very book smart, but his family's rich. He's pretty much got it all, to be honest.
What's interesting about this is when this movie came out, I honestly thought that guy's gonna make it big.
Me too.
I genuinely was like, he's a good-looking guy. He's strong-looking. I thought he was gonna be like a next like action star.
Yeah.
And then I was I was like, dude, this guy sucks.
I didn't get I don't know what
I don't
happened.
know what happened
What
either.
the hell happened to his career?
I mean, he's still a better actor than I am. Let's be honest. He's got more money than I do. I'm sure of it. But
I wonder if it's just kind of like sometimes you just hit those roles that like it really showcases your acting ability, but then you don't really have much range outside of that. So I wonder if that's what this is.
it's possible.
I mean, Denise Richards was really the only one that ascended from this movie at all. I think. Dina Meyer was in Johnny Mnemonic before
Right.
that, and she was not as hot in that movie as she was in this one. Her personality just
Yeah, she was a firecracker in this one for sure.
yes.
That movie, Johnny Mnemonic, that was just a weird ass movie. So I don't think that would have done much for her career, to be honest. Cool concept, honestly. It's a cool cyberpunk sort of concept, but I just felt like the execution wasn't quite there.
Oof, execution was not good, and it did not do her justice because I saw that after I'd seen Starship Troopers. I saw Johnny Mnemonic like a few years ago,
So you can compare.
and I was like, oh yeah, I was just curious because it's cyberpunky and it's supposed to be. It was a good book evidently, but the movie just didn't have it all together.
You know what's great about this movie too is their teacher is a fucking badass dude.
That dude
Like,
is
he's just a badass in this film. And the way he talks, the way he presents himself, his arguments to why violence is the only choice. Like, dude, he's just a fucking badass.
dude, truly. And what's interesting to me that you bring him up because he became my hero in this movie. And he said one line that just melted my mind. It was so perfect. I was like, what the fuck? This guy said this guy? And he nailed it. But he says, figuring things out for yourself is the only real freedom anyone really has. Use that freedom. Make your own
That's a
mind.
good
Make
quote.
up your own mind.
Yeah, I love that line. I will say that with that line, it seems like a cop out, but really, like he was really being insightful with that one.
Beautiful. It's true. Because only then, like if you do something because someone else told you to, you're not going to own that decision and you'll resent that person and you'll resent the years you spent doing this thing because you didn't really own it. You had somebody else choose for you. And he's like, no, this is your own freedom. I think he did it in a really tasteful way. And again, just nailed it. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Ratchak? What's
Ratchak.
Ratchak.
I just think it's badass because they show him in the beginning. This is the cool thing. It's almost like, you're seeing what might happen in the future because you kind of get an idea he's going to play a bigger role in the film. You just don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And when you first see him, he's like missing his entire arm and he's like walking around and he like touches people with it and
Right.
shit. Like he points at them and you're like, what the fuck is
Fucking
going
touch
on with
with
this guy?
That third leg.
And then it just later in the movie, dude, you see him and he is just a badass dude.
Absolutely.
You know, that actually went over my head because I straight up didn't think that I thought he was a throwaway character. I didn't think that he was going to come back. And I was like, he only has a couple lines. I don't know why he even came back was it the dance or whatever? I didn't think anything of it. Like I knew Michael Ironside from like other 90s movies, right? Like I think he was in like Free Jack or something like that. Normally plays like a villain, but I'm like in this one, I'm like, okay, he's a teacher. That's cool. And when he came back, that was genuinely a pleasant surprise. And I was just like, that is sick. I love that idea. Like taking like such a unassuming character like that. And he seems like he's kind of gimped with his missing arm and all that stuff. And then he comes back to be this like badass fucking character later. I love that idea.
A really, really good part of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to explain the other characters really quick, Carmen Ibanez, played by Denise Richards, of course. She is aspiring to join the fleet branch and she wants to be a pilot. And she's currently Jonah's girlfriend because all these characters are introduced around the same time. And then Dizzy Flores, played by Dina Meyer, is Johnny's classmate, sports teammate, has a not so secret crush on Johnny. Well, it seems like it's a secret to only Johnny. Everyone else kind of gets a hint of it.
Yeah.
Fun fact is that Dizzy was actually a guy in the novel. That character was not a love interest. It was just like a good buddy or whatever that Johnny
Brilliant
has.
change.
I think this makes it that much more interesting, right? Because the military is kind of predominantly male anyway. So it's cool to have these like prominent, like really important female characters mixed in. I think it just makes it that much more interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't shoehorned. I like knowing that the original was with a dude instead of a girl because that is tastefully. It's not, you're not just shoehorning this character. We got to have your token this kind of person in this role, insert whatever. But this added a whole new dynamic and made you kind of like pull for him at for her and for him at different points. Like, come on, dude, like can't you see like when he gets his heart broken later. you see it on her face, and it's not just like she's with glee, like, yes, I get my chance. It's like, dang, she really cares about him, and she feels for him when he gets his heart broken.
Mhm.
It's like she really does actually love him.
And it drives other parts of the movie because of things that happen between the two of them. It drives, the movie to why he is the way he is and why he is so aggressive, why he is more aggressive toward arachnids than just your average trooper.
Right, exactly. Doogie Howser playing Neil Patrick Harris playing Carl Jenkins. He's also going to be joining the military, but he's going to be joining the military intelligence side, and that's like the more psychic side, right? What I really thought was kind of cool about that was it reminds me of the Dread movie. On the police force, there's like people that have psychic abilities as well, and so I love that little aspect of it, like that, like almost like supernatural ability.
Dude, Dread with Carl Urban is so fucking awesome,
I've
dude.
not seen it yet.
I know
I've
people
got
are
to
like,
see
oh,
it.
I don't like this. It's not like the dude. It was so awesome.
It's
The
way
fact that
better than the Stallone one.
you get to showcase his weapon. It's so awesome.
I will say the first like 10 minutes of the Stallone film was pretty badass, but after that it just turns into garbage.
I am the law. Yeah, come on. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was why I wasn't drawn to see Dread when it came out, because I was like, oh, no thanks. I'm good on that.
That first one just leaves such a bad taste in your mouth that you're like, why would I ever revisit Judge Dredd?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't his. Honestly, that's all it is. Sly makes really good movies when he directs them and writes them himself. But when he's just an actor, it didn't do well. And I think he knew that. But yeah, no, this one is great because there's these very vastly different characters, but obviously they look like they're much older than they should be in high school.
Are they teenagers?
Oh,
hell no.
But
yeah.
that's what kind of drives it home is they're supposed to be teenagers, like basically at the cusp of graduation, the cusp of starting their lives. And Casper Van Dien's character, Johnny Rico, he really, really, really wants to join the military. And his parents are like politicians, or they're just rich, or I can't remember exactly what their role is, but they're like, you don't have to, we've got money, blah blah blah. And he's like, I want to join, Dad. It's like, it looks like he's arguing with like a person 4 years older than himself. He's like, Dad, we were raised in the same generation. I'm gonna join the
Damn.
military. But like, it's kind of weird because Casper Van Dien looks like he's like 40, and his dad looks like he's like 50. So it's like,
yeah.
Hey, I got, you've always wanted to go to Zegama Beach. I got some tickets, bro. I was actually curious to see what Zegama Beach looked like, because it sounded like it was beautiful, but it got blown up.
they just destroyed the rings of Saturn, man. And you know what's interesting about the movie is the entire movie, like the Earth parts of it take place in Buenos Aires, Argentina, right?
Mhm.
And they all speak fluent English.
It's kind of whitewashed.
Like the entire school, it's very white, and you're like, that's not. I mean, I know it's 2,300 or whatever, but you don't have any Hispanic people there. And they're like, no, we got Dizzy Flores. And I'm like, she's a white lady with a Hispanic last name.
We have Carmen Ibanez. She's supposed to be a Latina.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's Denise Richards. We know.
Oh my God, I'm so cultured. I'm going back to my roots, guys.
Yeah, no, that's the only part where I was like, even as a kid, I was like, did they not have any people from Argentina that could play some of these roles? Like even the background characters? So.
There's also a character later on when they go to boot camp that his name was Shujumi, and he was supposed to be Japanese. That dude actually looked Hispanic.
Total. I was gonna say that. I couldn't remember his name though, but I was like, it's gonna come up. I know it's gonna come up because total Latino. Orale.
Yeah, no.
I was like, Shujima,
It's
no
crazy.
way.
But you know what's crazy about that is they end up joining the military, right? And they all go their kind of different ways. Denise Richards' character Carmen gets into the flight school and she's super excited about it. And at the time she thinks they kind of plan out that they're gonna have this like long distance relationship. But Johnny joins the military and he becomes like a grunt, like a Marine.
Yep.
And he's like going to be like a ground troop, and he's like super stoked about it. Like he's like, this is my place, this is how I become a citizen, and he's super happy. And then he finds out Dizzy joined with him, and he's kind of like upset. He's like why are you always following me around, like what's going on, man? It's getting ridiculous. And she's like, I didn't join for you, I did my own thing. And like, so they're kind of at odds a little bit. but you meet other characters at the military camp that just kind of crack you up. And when I saw Gary Busey's son,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
dude, I was like, is that young Gary Busey? Like I've
Basically,
never, I was
Unmistakable.
like, dude, that is him.
Unmistakable.
It's
That's
unmistakable. That is his
that's
son,
his
dude. Like there's no
fucking kid.
mistaking it.
I was excited to see career, what was it, career general, career sergeant, whatever,
Zim.
Zim.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
That fool. And then he was also in Pet Cemetery 2. He was the stepdad, like the evil stepdad that gets brought back. I mean, he was a jerk before, but when he gets brought back, he's way worse. And I was like, oh, like, yeah, it's not so hard to believe he can throw a knife through Gary Busey's son's hand. Put your hand there.
That's that.
Do it.
That what is it called? The quickening power.
Yeah.
So before we get to the basic training, really quick, I want to get your thoughts on this jump ball sport.
Oh, that's badass, actually, dude.
Because this is a pretty like prominent moment in the film. It kind of stands out from the rest of the movie, and it's kind of like American football, but not. Like I don't know. There were some differences about it.
It looks like a football.
It looks like a football.
It seems like they play on like a half field. Like it seems like it's kind of smaller. It's enclosed, so it's like
But it
arena football.
feels like the it's almost like, but it's like an air hockey arena. Clearly there's like a gravitational difference because he does like crazy jumps and flips that
Gymnastics,
you're like,
yeah.
no, there's no way that's happening on like a real field.
Yeah.
Is it possible that maybe Johnny Rico's just like a supreme athlete?
He's like the $6 million man, dude.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's not a supreme athlete.
Nah.
I think there's something going on that court, dude.
He pulls that move though later. He does pull that move later when they're training or whatever, and they want to win, and she's like, Diz is like, do this move, and you're gonna do the something double back 6 or something like that, and he does that like flip.
Oh, that's right.
triple
With their
helix,
basic training. I forgot about that.
So, that's another thing that I really liked about it too, was that this movie was kind of ahead of its time in that regard, because they had a woman on the team. Dizzy was the quarterback of this like jump ball sport, and she was badass. Like she's breaking tackles and
shoulder checking full. She's like, just get the fuck off me.
And it's cool because her and Johnny are both shine in this game, right? Mm-hmm. They make it happen.
Yeah, they're a great combo.
Again, she's not just somebody that's like put on the team because she's a girl. It's like she's on the team because she's the quarterback. You know what I mean? Like she's the leader of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she has leadership skills, and that's something that you see later on too. So it's kind of cool that like she's her own character and she's important. She's not just this like character that only exists to be a love interest for Johnny. Like she has her own path.
To pine for him. Yeah, no, absolutely. She shines. She's a badass. I mean, hell, when she steps up to Zim when she arrives late, as you were mentioning before, she fucking squares off with him like just totally a total badass, and she gives him a licking, but obviously takes her own and mad respect.
He chokes the fuck out of her, dude.
He does.
He's knee to the throat. She's got a bruise in the next scene on her neck, you know, like gnarly.
What? Yeah, you already see like how much of a hard ass that Sergeant Zim is, right? Expertly played by Clancy Brown, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting him in line or whatever, and then I like how after he kind of like lays it down, he's like, all right, so who wants to come at me? Who wants to test me? And so like that big like buff country dude is like, I guess I'll take a stab at it, and then he gets his arm broken or whatever. Everyone is just like, damn, I ain't fucking stepping up, hell no. And then you got Dizzy walking in later, and not only did she surprised everyone by joining the mobile infantry, but then she also, on top of that, transferred specifically to that unit that Johnny Rico was in. And so that wasn't an accident. Like she made that happen. She kind of like does a little side eye to Johnny. She's just like, what's up? He's not exactly giving the same look back as you were saying. Like he looks annoyed.
He's like my nephew. He's like,
I love the fact that she stands up to Zim, like because she wants to impress Johnny, right? So she's just like, you know what, fuck it, like let's go. She throws down her duffel bag, takes off the jacket, and she's like, let's fucking do this. And I had mad respect for her, even though she got fucking choked out. She had the balls. No one else had the balls to stand up after that dude got his arm broken, but she was willing to do that.
Well, and what's great about that scene is literally like right after that scene, like because you're thinking like, he just broke this dude's fucking arm. Like, what was the point of that? Now he's out of commission. But no, he's not. The very next scene, you see him and he's got like this fucking blue liquid,
whatever
like,
that was,
in a fucking glass thing, and his arm is like healing inside. It's so weird, but like his hand is completely intact and he's able to use it. And I'm like, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. There's an opportunity to show how advanced medicine is at that time too.
The technology, I mean, it's quite a bit in the future. So you hope that they have some advanced technology and weaponry that they can use. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it seems like a lot of it is pretty grounded. But yeah, it's like you see little hints of it here and there, like that thing that probably heals his arm in a couple days,
Mm-hmm,
just so he
mm-hmm.
can probably get it broken again.
And I don't recall, but when Gary Busey Jr. gets his hand stabbed, doesn't he get something for his hand too?
I think it's off screen.
It's off screen. Okay.
Yeah, but it's I do love that almost becomes like Zim's catchphrase later on, because he's just like medic every single time someone gets fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Every time somebody gets injured, but there are injuries that can't be healed. You know what I mean?
Oof.
No, I like when he's like, why would you remove your helmet during a live fire exercise? I guess it's because I'm big and dumb.
Damn, no, see, that was kind of fucked up though. So that happens after they do their little like fucking routine, the triple helix or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a capture the flag. That's what earns Rico the position of squad leader, and then that's what leads him into the next exercise, which was the live ammunition.
Yeah, and they go into this line navigation exercise, and they do well there as well. But at the like toward the end of the live fire exercise, one of the other troopers slips and like falls and like fires off her gun like at random, and just blows one of her teammates' faces off. And you watch it like that was the other thing, is it's so graphic that it doesn't pull away at all. You like see this guy's head just like disappear, and it's crazy.
With the arm getting broken and like the fucking head getting blown off and the hand getting stabbed, it's pretty graphic, and it's kind of jarring each time they show it. But I think that's what kind of all adds to the impressiveness of the movie. It was like, I think a lot of the effects still hold up. A lot of that was like practical effects.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it's not CG. It's not a lot of CG, if there is any. It looks like, yeah, those practical effects are awesome. I mean, especially when that guy gets popped in the head during that live exercise. Like it looked.
Who did those effects? Was it what was it? Was it Industrial Light and Magic, or was it something else before that? What was it?
I actually don't know.
Good question. Yeah.
But yeah, so this guy gets his head blown off, and then Johnny Rico, because he's the squad commander, he has to get punished as a result of it. Ooh. And so he's like, well, I'll leave. You know, I'm gonna just drop out and go home. And so they end up like allowing him to do so, but they have to give him like 10 lashings on the back, and he like, which is such a weird punishment, because it's like you wouldn't see that at all today. So this kind of truly shows like the fascist,
kind of primitive,
aggressive, violent mindset even of these people against their own, to prove like you made a mistake and you're going to carry the weight of that mistake literally on your back the rest of your life. Right. And they literally are like whipping him, and he's like passing out on this
flogging
fucking thing.
Him, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you do these punishments, it's like a public event, like when people got hanged back in the day, the whole town came to watch. It's crazy.
Make an example of you.
Put that fear into everyone. He was contemplating leaving, and they're like, like just take your licks and then get right back to it. And so he took the whips, and then he was like, you know what, fuck that, I'm out of here anyway.
I took it, but
you should have just left, without getting
so stupid.
And he literally is like leaving. He's like walking out with his bags, and then he sees like everyone running, and he's like, what's going on? What's going on?
He got that message from his parents first, and they're like, it's getting dark out here. What's that all about?
And then like static goes in.
He goes, huh? He just walks away and just goes, okay.
And he's like, what's going on? They're like, we're going to war. And he's like, what? And then he finds out that literally like Buenos Aires was like taken off the map by like a giant fucking bug missile.
I do think that was awesome how they did that, because when the feed cut out, it seems like a little throwaway, right? Like he's just like, oh, whatever, packs his bag and leaves. You find out that almost took out Carmen when she was in her Starship. She had to like drive around it, or like maneuver around it.
Dive. Which I didn't understand why he told her to hold. I'm like, what? As soon as you can push those boosters, it's just getting closer to you. This doesn't help whatsoever to hold the position.
The only thing that made sense to me was like, because it was rotating, right? So maybe they're looking for like a section that wasn't protruding downward. Oh, and so they're like, all right, so now dip under.
You know what's crazy is you find out later that's basically like one of the bugs, like giant Mondo Dukes.
Was it?
You know what I mean? Shooting out of his butthole like a stink bug, dude.
Taste that.
But yeah, so Johnny's whole basically like all of Buenos Aires is destroyed, and so he goes back into the recruiter's office and he's like, I'm gonna sign back up basically. And the guy is like, it's what's funny is when you're watching it, you're like, oh, this guy's gonna be a dick to him. And he's like, is that your signature on the page? And he's like, yes, sir. And he's like, doesn't look like it to me, and like rips it up and throws it in the trash.
Hell
And I'm like,
yeah.
Hell
I
yeah,
don't think I was an
brother.
asshole. Now he's like being nice to him, letting him back in.
Rico's back,
He's like,
baby.
everything I know at home got destroyed.
Isn't that crazy that Rico at the beginning of the movie, he was someone that had everything going for him, right? And then now we fast forward to now and he has nothing to lose.
Right.
At this point, right?
Literally
right.
nothing to lose.
Everything was taken from him. You know?
Everything. Even his girlfriend broke up
He's
with
hit
him.
rock bottom.
No, because they go on their first tour on the planet, and it's when they get their relief back on the space station. Then he realizes she's basically already seeing somebody else.
All right, well, I mean, since you brought it up, let's fucking get into Klendathu. That first battle, man.
Yeah. That's the battle that brings you into it literally brings you into like, okay, this is what I've been waiting for the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this isn't anything to joke about because they go in and they're just like, you know, they're like really arrogant and they're like, we're going to fuck these bugs up, you know, and we're going to stomp them and all that stuff for what they did to us, sending that asteroid over. And so Klendathu is the Arachnids' home planet. They already knew where it was located. And they're like, all right, now we have a reason to go there and start fucking them up. They dispatch the mobile infantry and, you know, they're loading up into the little drop pods. And I was like, man, that with the music was so fucking awesome. The leader of the group, I think they were called the Wildcats. So he was just like giving them like that little pep talk as they're flying down and they're like kind of freaking out. The back of the ship drops out and everyone's just storming out. And it seems like kind of barren at first. Like they're like looking around like there's no bugs. And all of a sudden they start getting swarmed.
Dude, those bugs are like fucking like bop, 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 like hitting them with their legs
9
and just
feet
fucking
tall,
like
dude.
lifting them up and like slamming them back down. They get fucked up by
their
those
pincers
bugs.
can chop people in half and like the armor basically does nothing.
They look like the ground crawling version of what was that, Pitch Black?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Those flying
Yeah.
things with the.
But they're giant, dude. These things are like literally like 9-10 feet tall.
Everything on them is a weapon.
And even like they're shooting out their legs and shit and trying to kill them, but like they have like fucking 8 legs. They're truly like arachnids, dude. They're like 8-legged fucking, and they're like, so they just like spin around and like hit with the other one, and they're getting messed up, dude. And then doesn't the like leader of the Wildcats just like get fucked
immediately? He's out.
Yeah, like.
And then Ace is supposed to be their squad leader, and he freezes, and so that's when Johnny steps up and he's like, "Kill them all!" Finally, start fighting back, but like it takes so much ammo to take one out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. I was going to mention that. It's like they have unlimited ammo until toward the end of the movie. Suddenly it's like, I'm out. But before that, they were just like, it's just like all day.
A 500-round clip.
Give me another one. Yeah, 500-round clip. This mission was totally fucked from the very beginning. Isn't this the one where they were coming down and they're like, yeah, we were expecting some random missiles to come in, and they're like, oh shit, we're getting fucked up.
That's
worse.
the last battle when they're all going in together. And
okay.
Denise Richards' ship is like they're like wait, and they have to get in the escape pod, and he like puts her in there first. But no, what's cool about this battle is like Rico really gets to show off like his skills as a leader. Like he ends up taking down several bugs.
That's right. Was this at nighttime mission?
Yeah, it's at night, and that's where we catch up to the beginning of the movie when they're broadcasting, because now you see it from an outside perspective. They're running past him and he's like, it's a bug planet, it's an ugly planet, and then like that dude gets killed, right? And this shows kind of like the compassion that Rico has, because he sees that people are getting messed up, so he's fighting them off, and that ends up getting him messed up because now the bugs are getting the jump on him, and the body knocks him down, and he's using the little like secondary fire, which is like a shotgun, which is pretty badass.
Yeah, pretty badass for sure.
He gets that like spine through the leg, and it seems like he
right
dies.
through the femur.
You know, like again, it cuts out, and you think he dies,
right?
And then he wakes up in that tank. So again, like more future technology. His legs getting 3D printed.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot he wakes up in like that fucking back to tank or whatever, and all of his like squad mates are like pounding on the glass and like, way to go, get up, Johnny.
Look, you're dead.
It's later on that he gets up, and then don't they all go get tattoos or some shit?
Yeah.
The Death from Above. So I actually contemplated getting one of those Death from Above because I love this movie so much. Like I want to get in the same spot, like right on the shoulder. And I think that'd be kind of cool.
And isn't that the same scene? Like they're walking out of the tattoo parlor all together, and that's when he sees Carmen with Xander, and they're like clearly closer than just co-pilots.
You know, when he saw Carmen off at the train station, he said, "I love you," and she didn't really say it back.
He begs her to, and she's like,
I don't, she says it through her teeth, right? She's gritting her
Yeah,
teeth.
she
She's
does.
like, "I
She
love
does.
you." But like now he sees her with someone else, and it's that fucker. Like, imagine how Johnny feels. It's that fucker that was flirting during the game.
Takes two to tango, man. That pissed me off too. Though she was like all about that dude. You're gonna be joining the
I'm gonna be
pilot,
a
whatever.
pilot too.
Aviator. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who's he played by? Fuck him too.
Yeah, fuck him too, dude.
Xander Barkalow is played by Patrick Muldoon.
Fuck Patrick.
Patrick,
Muldoon.
that sounds like a terrible person. Is he a womanizer?
Damn.
Is he a womanizer? Is
I
he a
don't know.
womanizer?
Why
Damn
does that
him.
name sound familiar though? What else was he in?
I don't think I've recognized him.
Yeah, I've seen him in something. I've seen him in a
Oh, you
couple
have?
things. Yeah. I just
Okay.
don't remember what. I saw his face and I was like, God, I've seen. He actually looks like he's from like Point Break or something. I
Oh,
was like,
interesting.
He looks
Okay.
like a surfer dude. He's just kind of like got his hair chopped off a little bit. Like, whoa, I'm a pilot.
Yeah, I don't.
I do like how different Rico's and Carmen's paths have been though, because you see like so much shit happening on Johnny's side, and then Carmen's just kind of like flirting with Xander, you know, and they're doing their thing, flying their starship or whatever.
Uh-huh.
The fleet and mobile infantry, they encounter different things. Like those are totally different worlds. Those worlds don't mix.
Oh, it's crazy. Like the violence with which the mobile infantry is met with in every mission. I mean, literally, it's like
Nightmare fuel.
I think it's less than a 50% survival rate
Yeah.
guaranteed. Like there's
Every encounter.
50% chance of not coming home from every encounter, which is vastly different than I think most encounters you would expect. You're thinking, hey, these people have been training. There's so many of them. You know, maybe out of 100 people, 20 die. No, it's literally more than half of them get fucking messed up.
They're basically cannon fodder, right? And you're wondering, like, if they're investing so much time and effort into these trainees, like, why not try to protect them in some way? Ensure that they're actually going to be coming back.
And then at one point, you see that they have these like mini nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Right.
That it's because like at one point she's like, nuke him, Johnny, and he like puts this fucking like small red rocket on the end of his gun and fires it off, and you're like, why haven't you been using that the whole time?
I figure you only have like what, 5 of those bad boys, so you got.
Why? Why do you only have 5?
Everyone should be packing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone should have 1, and then you just lay waste. Like, why not lay
True.
waste to the whole planet?
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, like, why even use a small one? Like, they should be using some sort of Death Star on that planet.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
they're fucking bugs, bro.
Well, the only good bug is a dead bug.
That's right.
That's right.
I did like, I don't know, I loved the aesthetic of the mobile infantry though. Like, even though the armor didn't do shit to protect them, like, I love just the
Oh, it looks badass.
flat gray and like the helmet that fits with the rest of the aesthetic, the rifles that they use. Everything just looked really cohesive.
And you're waiting for it because it's on the cover art of the movie and the box art for the fucking when you're going into the theater and shit. So you're like, when are they gonna wear these outfits? And then you see them and you're like, that's badass. Because not every movie does that. Sometimes you see something that never even makes its appearance in the movie.
Right.
So this was cool to see that aesthetic and to see. And you're right, it was absolutely useless. Like the armor did nothing to protect them. It only protected them from each other if they happened to get shot or
Maybe.
something.
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
You don't see much friendly
But
fire other than that one.
Is it their second? Is it after their second combat when him and Dizzy get together, or is it? It's after, right? It's after he becomes the leader.
It's after they have already joined the Roughnecks,
right?
And which is coming up right now because they got the dramatic scene where Carmen finds out that Rico died, because the audience is still thinking that Rico died too, right? You're like, you don't know what happened to him, and then she pulls up his name and it says deceased. And then that's when Dizzy shows the paper and is like, hey, Rico, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
What I really love about that scene, other than like the 3D printing, which is pretty cool, I really think that this was kind of like the turning point for Johnny and Dizzy's relationship. He's stuck in that tank for a while. He's mostly alone with his thoughts, right? And along with his near-death experience, it forced him to kind of reevaluate his life and what's important to him. And Dizzy has always fucking been there for him, bro. Like, she'll always have his back. And I think he's finally starting to appreciate who she is.
Right.
Yeah.
When she kisses the tank and then says bye and she leaves, like, he kind of has like that, I've never seen her in this. Yeah, I've never seen her in this way before.
Little twinkle in the eye. Yeah.
More than just a twinkle.
Mm-hmm.
Two twinkles.
2.
At least 2.
Once Rico's fully healthy, the remaining survivors of the Wildcats or whatever are reassigned to the Roughnecks. And so that's when Ace is like, he's like, hey, I heard the leader of this squad is a hard ass, and everyone's just like really defensive. He saved my life and mine. So there's a lot building up.
And then doesn't she say something like, who do you think saved your life?
Right.
And she like points at Johnny.
That's what I thought was so cool, is like they keep that secret until then. Like, how the fuck do you survive? He was for sure about to die right there,
Oh yeah.
And you don't know what happened. And so like I love this reveal because, again, like you don't think of like Ratchet from the beginning of the movie. You're just like, who the fuck is this fantastic leader of the Roughnecks? You see this guy enter the frame and you just kind of see this metallic hand, and then like he like walks up, and then it's like, holy shit, it's the teacher from the school at the beginning of the movie. That's sick.
It's almost as though he doesn't recognize him when he first walks up. He's like, these guys are new, and he jabs at him without his nub this time. It's actually a metal, a mech finger.
Right.
But he's like, he acts like he doesn't even know really who they are.
Honestly, like I just want to give credit where credit's due. Lieutenant Ratchet, played by none other than the Michael Ironside, right? Like, who the fuck else could play this role? I don't think anyone could do this role justice like Michael Ironside could.
No.
Agreed.
He might be my favorite character in the whole movie.
Same, actually.
Not for me. I have another favorite character, but I remember I was 13 at the time, so it was Dizzy.
Dizzy, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful. And I like this kind of spiel that Ratchet does to the Roughnecks, like the new recruits, because this is something that it seems like just a badass line to say at this moment, but it's actually something that gets referenced later on in the movie several more times. So he says, this is all for all you new people. I only have one rule. Everybody fights, no one quits. If you don't do your job, I'll kill you myself. Do you get me? Obviously, Michael Ironside is going to make that sound cool anyway, but I love the fact that he lives by that code, and you see it pretty soon, like not long after this, like when they go on their next mission, you see that like someone gets snatched up by one of the bugs and he has to do a mercy kill, and he doesn't hesitate. And I expect all you motherfuckers to do the same for me.
Yeah. No, he totally drives home the point that like I'm not going to let anyone suffer, but you are going to do your role. You're here to perform, and everyone's going to do their part.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, I think it like reflects back to when he says in the movie, there's something about like he says something about being a citizen, or even Rico says it, I think, and he's like, the role of a citizen is to understand that they're part of the bigger thing, and that sacrificing the part to maintain the whole is for the good of the whole.
Hey, he sacrificed his arm.
Yeah, he brings that whole thing to it.
I would have liked at some point for that arm to kind of come into play. Like maybe he can take a bite from like one of the bugs or something and like fend it off.
Oh, yeah, it never does.
Yeah, that would have been kind of dope, right? Or like if he's able to like punch or like rip out an eye of a bug, like with the metallic hand, that'd be cool.
Like Ruishka from fucking Alita Battle Angels, like all the fingers come off and like fucking like rip shit
like
apart.
It's like the blade chains. Sick.
Yeah.
Oh
damn.
So on top of the fact that the Roughnecks have proper leadership now, and it seems like Ratchet's pretty battle tested, and he's pretty savvy on the battlefield. He has good instincts. So on top of that, I think they have a better strategy of the fact that he says, we're going to do the mop-up duty after we bomb the shit out of everything. And it seems to work.
Yeah. They literally like bomb the planet, but of course they all hide in caves.
Right.
The bugs are hiding in caves, and so when they finally land, then the bugs start coming out. And I think that's when we finally get introduced to like some of the larger bugs and some of the different bugs. And there's that's where there's this giant bug that literally it looks like a giant cockroach almost, and it like fucking spews out fire.
This like corrosive liquid. And that's what's cool about the movie too, is again the pacing. Instead of just showing the same bugs over and over, they're slowly introducing like variants of the bugs, like different, I don't know, I guess like species of bugs that have different tasks. Going back to StarCraft, I've always thought of the tankers as the Ultralisks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The heavy defense and offense. And so those are usually the ones that kind of like burrow and they come up underneath. Like while you're distracted taking out the little like warrior bugs, that one comes up behind you, which is what happens to them after they mop up like the remaining few bugs. That one comes up and Johnny sees it, and so I think it gets the jump on that one of those squad leaders, because it like takes out her arm, right? It like melts that thing.
The very arm that she used to slug Homeboy with.
Yeah. And you see it. Dude, you see it. It like fucking just like dissolves
immediately.
off.
Yeah.
and she like falls down and she's like holding a stump, dude. And you're
Oh,
like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this too may have been from like his like jump ball background, but it seems like he's already kind of like planning the attack and like trying to get around it.
Mm-hmm. Get
How
the high
can I get the
ground.
jump on this bug thing? So the rest of his squad is drawing aggro and he's coming up from the side and he jumps off like a little like rock formation to get on its back and he just starts blasting the shit out of its shell. And I wonder if it's softer because it seems like that would be just as hard as everything else, but maybe more like the stomach and the sides are hardened because that's what most of the attacks would come from. And then it's not used to something being on its back. And so maybe it's softer there. That's what I'm wondering.
Mm.
Well, it's also he's able to like literally like fire directly
Point
like point
blank.
blank range.
Yeah. Not
And what's cool
glancing.
about it is it's not like a dumb bug. Like it clearly feels it because it starts like moving back and forth, and he has to like follow and like he like grabs onto the inside of the bug's like body to like hang on as he grabs his fucking grenade and like fucking like hucks it inside the bug's body and like
Yeah.
slides down
Yeah,
it.
that definitely does the job because it blows that thing in half.
He cooks it for a bit too.
He does, yeah.
He cooks it, waits that I'm gonna bail at the right time.
Yeah, it's true.
Those are some good instincts. Like, how do you know that, like, without even shooting anything at it, you're like, okay, we're going to have to kill it from the inside out because the outside is just not going to do anything.
I don't know. I think the idea would be like, well, there's enough firepower going at it from this angle. I'm going to try something different. Obviously,
Hmm.
it's the movie, so it has to kind of push it along that he's kind of a badass, smarter
Mhm.
than the average Marine,
Mhm.
and that he's, that
Or he's
he's
got
got
just
some
good
ideas.
intuition. Yeah.
Yeah,
He keeps a cool head under pressure. And I think that's
Yeah.
what kind of sets him apart from a lot of his squad mates because they might have more experience or they might have like better leadership skills. But I think they start freaking out when shit starts hitting the fan and he's still processing it, right? And he's like, he's already thinking 2 steps ahead of everyone else. Like, all right, how am I going to take this full out now?
Mhm.
and can't forget this is all he has left.
Right.
Right, these people, these friends,
Right.
these teammates of his. This is all he's got left. He has no family left.
This basically is his
Everything he had
family
was
now.
already
Yeah.
destroyed. So not only is he cool under pressure, but he also has this kind of drive to make sure every one of his soldiers makes it
Mhm.
out, even though he's not a squad. He's just their teammate, but he wants to see them all home.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Because of that stunt, he gets promoted to corporal, I believe, right?
Mhm. Yeah. I need a corporal.
And so he's like, okay, well, who wants to be squad leader? And he's like, Ace, Dizzy. And Ace is like, nah, I'm good. I'm just here to kill. I'm here to shoot shit. And so that's when he's like, Dizzy, she says, I'm your girl, sir. And that kind of hit harder for me because it was kind of bittersweet in the fact that like
Yeah.
you're kind of proud of her for stepping up and she's going to do great in that role. But
Mhm.
also she meant that in more ways than one.
Of course. The double entendre.
yeah, and you were thinking to yourself at that point in time, I wish I was this character.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, that's when the relationship kind of escalates. They celebrate their victory later that
Yeah,
night
and what's weird is they're celebrating their victory on Klendathu.
on the bug
Like they're
planet.
clearly still on that planet, which you're like,
Yeah.
dude, that's the most dangerous place for you to
Yeah.
be.
Let's get
Exactly.
back on the ship. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's on the other side
Yeah,
of the planet and it takes a while to get over there.
who the hell knows, man? I was like, this. They didn't go very far.
No, it's true.
Ain't no bug gonna stop them from getting wasted. I'll tell you that.
No, they get wasted and they're starting to have their sexy time.
This is kind of like the payoff. Like they've been kind of like teasing it for the entire movie,
Mhm.
and now you finally get to see Johnny and Dizzy together. Even after all of that, I wonder why he was so hesitant to kind of still pursue that at this moment. It wasn't until Ratchet came in and was like, "Let me give you some more advice here. Never pass up a good thing." And it was after that that he
Yeah.
was like, "All right, I'm gonna go for it."
Well, I think it's also like still he's her superior officer, right? And that puts a little damper on things, but it's almost like Radchet gave him the blessing,
Okay.
Right. Right.
knowing what was going on in that room. You know what I mean?
It was kind of like the added like responsibility and pressure of like being
Right,
promoted. Okay, I could see
right.
that.
Yeah, I could see that. It's just I think that he had not I think he was looking for something still. I think he was still maybe still licking his wounds from the previous relationship and still only seeing her as like this I don't know, this girl that he's trying to like brush off, right? Like, oh, we're just friends. We're just friends. But then finally, she's always been there for him, always at his side,
Right.
happy for him. He's alive. She has, hey, you're dead. And then kisses the tank that he's in. I think it finally he was just doing it out of habit as well. And finally, he knocked some sense into him. Hey, you asked me for advice once. Let me give you some free advice here. Life is so fragile.
You watch this scene and you're like, awesome, right? Like in your mind, you're thinking like, this is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then it literally gets ripped away from you in the very next scene. Like it doesn't even last like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's infuriating. You're like, okay,
Nothing lasts forever.
He basically found the love of his life. She loves him. He realizes he loves her. And in the very next scene, I'll just let you unload it because it's mind numbing.
As they're about to have sex, even like Ratchet comes in, he's like, hey, we're getting a distress signal on planet P, we're gonna go address that, and so get ready in 10. And so he's just like, wait, who's that with you? It's Dizzy, sir. So he's like, make it 20 minutes. But I was like, fucking get it, man.
Badass. She laughs like, 20, and he goes, we can do it.
Ratchet's so cool, man. Like he's just like such an awesome character.
He really is, because he realizes just how fragile life is. Like, don't waste any time. Don't waste any time.
Yeah,
enjoy it.
Yeah. Although he left that flap open when he left.
Fucker.
Close the door.
Fucker.
But they were under a sleeping bag. It's all right.
Yeah.
Have you ever had sex while camping?
While camping? No, not on an alien planet either.
It's intense.
It's fucking intense.
Because you're in a tent.
Stupid joke. I love a good dad joke. I was late home from work today, and Tiff goes, "Oh, where were you?" And I was like, "Oh man, I got abducted by a group of mimes." And she goes, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, they did unspeakable things to me."
Unspeakable.
So they go to Planet P, dude, and your whole, as a 13-year-old boy at the time, turning into a young man, your whole world gets fucking ruined, dude. Because they go to Planet P and they think they have the upper hand.
It's also important to note that they introduce another bug here as well, right? The hopper bug that's like, it's got fucking wings, man. So they got flying bugs now.
It's like a grasshopper, yeah.
And not only the flying bugs, but it's clear the bugs ambushed them.
Right.
It's clear the bugs are smart because they make a comment about it. The bugs ambushed them, so they're not dumb. They have a plan. They have an attack pattern.
This whole mission was it's terrible on multiple levels because obviously they're going at the time, like you don't really know it and they don't know it for sure, but they're going into a trap. It's basically a suicide mission. They don't expect any of these people to survive, but they're like the guinea pig. So that way they can see if it's actually a trap or not. And if they're actually intelligent and they're implementing strategies, that's what they're trying to figure out here. The distress signal is to like an outpost. It's called like Whiskey Outpost or something like that. And so, that's where Ratchet does the mercy kill, and he takes out that one that gets snatched up by the hopper, and they eventually make it to Whiskey Outpost, and they see that everyone is just wiped out, right? And there's no survivors. But like, where are the bugs? They're just gone. So they just came in, they killed everyone and left. They're just kind of like surveying the area, and there's like a bug hole in one of the offices, and so they knew that someone came in from underneath. That's where they find the general, right? General Owen, and he's losing his mind. He locked himself in a locker, and you understand, right? I had to save myself because I have like all this information in my head. And he's like, they're trying to get in your heads. And so you see what he means by that, because Ratchet, like, he looks at some of the other officers that got killed and he's like, what does that look like? That's when Rico's like, they got in his head, sir. They're straight up like a hole in the top of the skull, and like the brains are gone, just fucking removed from the head. That's ominous. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Dizzy is trying to call in comms because they're only there to address the distress signal. No one's alive other than General Owen. So they're like, okay, well, we got him. And so they're like, okay, well, we got to find a pilot that's crazy enough to go down there. And he's like, all right, well, do what you need to do, but make it fast. Someone sounds the alarm, and basically they're getting swarmed. Like, there's just bugs coming out of the fucking woodwork. You see Ratchet kind of like survey the battlefield, and he sees that there's just like thousands of these guys, right? And he knows that they're probably going to die. And he's just like, come on, you apes, you want to live forever? And they just start going to battle, and they're just trying to defend the outpost as long as they can, so that way the dropship can make it there and they can bounce, but they got to buy some time. So
it's just the more time that they're buying, though, it's like the corpses themselves are falling before the wall, so those corpses are basically building a bridge or building like a ramp up to the wall. So it's just like, you're fucked. It's just intense.
Yeah.
Well, and what's crazy is is they talk about the pilot that's crazy enough to fly in there, and the pilot that happens to go in is Carmen.
Right. Yeah.
And so she's like going down, not even realize. I don't think she even knows. I don't think they say anything, but I don't think she knows it's
Mm-mm.
her friends. But
She
she's
doesn't,
just
not
like,
till he's on
I'm
board.
gonna go help out the team too. And so they like fly down in there. They're gonna rescue who they can. And so like everyone's together again for like 5 seconds.
Let's not, take away from that Carmen character because she's skilled. There's no landing point. You have to basically land in the middle of this small outpost.
Mhm.
And it kind of hover almost.
Yeah, and there's like corpses all over the place, and you got to find like a good spot to land. And she does it. She does it expertly. So I definitely want to give credit where credit's due.
Mhm.
But man, they can only hold out for so long, and there's strength in numbers, right? There's like what 20 people to like 20,000. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
eventually the bugs are going to get the upper hand, and they're starting to break through, and they're starting to breach over the top, and
And
so they're trying
running
to
out of
retreat.
ammo.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're running out of ammo. Finally, the dropship comes down, and unfortunately, a bug hole opens up at the same time, and so Ratchet gets like swallowed up, fatally injured, and he asks Rico to kind of do what he needs to do.
He's like, do it.
You know what to do.
Mhm.
Rico doesn't hesitate. He pops one in the chest and takes him out. So Ratchet's gone, my favorite character.
Yeah. R.I.P.
And then on top of that, so this is what's so fucked up. Both of my favorite characters, Dizzy and Ratchet, get
Boom.
taken out back to back. It's devastating.
It's so harsh too, because you're thinking to yourself, okay, cool, I get it. Like one character, one main character had to die
Right.
to progress the movie, but then two of them go, and you're like, what the fuck?
Right
man?
after she takes it out, you
Yeah.
think she's in the clear because she launched it.
Right. Pops it in its mouth.
This is her, was it the jump ball background? Like she's able to launch that grenade into the mouth perfectly
Right.
and takes it out. And so she basically kind of implements the same thinking that Johnny did, except she didn't have to jump on the back, but she blew it up from the inside out. Cool. They're free to go. And she's running towards the dropship, and then a fucking like bug impales her in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And what's sad is like her final words are like she's like Johnny's like, no, you're gonna make it, and her final words to him is like, she's like, it's okay, because I finally got to have you, and you're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
bring the
Yeah.
drama on, man.
They had to go there.
Cue the waterworks, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, that was devastating, dude. Like, 'cause she was so sweet, and she was such a badass character.
She was.
And this is like the same scene that sets up where like now Rico's mad because he realizes this was a setup.
Mm-hmm.
He realizes this was a trap, and this is when basically him and Doogie Howser argue. Basically, you let us down there, you let us get trapped, and he was like, we had to do it. There are other things at stake here, and you have no idea what's going on. We have to make tough decisions all the time. And you're like, dude, this guy is kind of an asshole now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought they were friends.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know if it's because like he's like a ranking officer, and so he's just like, how dare you come at me like that? Or I wonder if it's like he's just starting to get so intelligent that like all these little trivial things stop mattering to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's like Dr. Manhattan. He's
Yeah.
like, I've
Right,
already seen all
right.
the outcomes.
Right.
Yeah.
You all die anyway.
I did think
Yeah.
that.
He,
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say it's to him, it seems the intel is more important than the loss of life, because ultimately, he has to sacrifice a few to save the many.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least it appears. So he's like, what is losing a few people to test this theory out in order for us to finally get to the source of the problem?
Right.
And they do know the source of the problem now, because now he's like, we know now there's a smart bug. We know now there's a smart bug. We have to go down and find it, and so they end up going back. And this is the scene where you see like just massive blue, like asteroid looking things just coming out of the atmosphere at all their ships. And I want to say, how many ships do you think there were? Hundreds, right? I mean, it was crazy how many ships they had flying at their home world.
And on top of that, they were in close proximity. So I'm like, I feel like
You're
that could
gonna
be
get hit.
That could be dangerous. You know what I mean? Because there's no room to maneuver. But they're all trying to, I think, drop down in the same general area. So that's why they're so closely clustered together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when one of the capital ships gets taken out, the one that Xander and Carmen are on. So they have to take the little escape pod and drop down to Planet P, which is the same planet that Rico and the Roughnecks are going to. So while that's happening, the Roughnecks got some new recruits, and they're all basically kids.
Yeah.
They look like they're barely 18.
But they actually look like kids.
Yeah.
And I like how he says, like, under his breath to Ace, he's like, we're the old people now, or whatever.
Right.
We're the vets now.
Yeah. It's trippy.
He says the whole spiel that Ratchek first said, and he kind of adopts that. So before I go there, Jenkins actually promotes him to the lieutenant now, right? Of the Roughnecks.
Yeah, it's Rico's Roughnecks. Like he's the leader of that whole squad, of that whole division.
Now he's given that whole introduction speech, and if you don't do your job, I'll kill you myself. Do you get me? And they do the "we get you, sir." But I like the fact that they do the whole like Rico's Roughnecks, and that basically shows Rico, because it surprised him, and it shows Rico that like he has the full support of the Roughnecks. They're firmly behind him.
And what's crazy is like just a lot happens because while they're fighting all those bugs on Planet P and actually like doing some damage, it's almost kind of clear they're like, oh, something else is going on because they're not attacking in full force. And while that's happening, Carmen and Xander are like, they've landed on the planet, but they're like stuck somewhere almost, like they're completely separated. And then they realize that's what they all kind of realize, oh, there is a brain bug, dude. Like there is a smart bug here that's like controlling the whole thing. Is an overlord,
Kept kind of alluding to it, like they only just generalized it as like some sort of brain bug, but it literally is like a bug that's a brain.
The way it moves, and then you see it like lift up, and it like pulls out that fucking like spine thing that like it would theoretically stab into the head,
right.
and like suck out the brains. And you're like, oh shit!
You get to see the actual process.
It's not just a smart bug; it's clearly also like able to pull memories out of these fucking humans.
How disturbing is that? Like by ingesting the brain, it's consuming your knowledge.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, what's terrifying is that it actually works, right? Because it's clearly getting information.
Right. And I wonder if like with each person that it consumes the brain of, like, do you think it grows? And so that's why it's so large, is because it's devoured so many people?
What's crazy about it is you actually get a sense of how smart it is at one point, because it's about to like basically devour Xander's brain, I think, right? Or somebody's brain. I can't remember.
It's Xander for sure.
And all of a sudden stops, and you see Rico walking in with that nuke, and he's like holding it in his hand, and he's like, you know what this is.
Xander already died.
Yeah, Xander already died. That's right.
It was about to get Carmen, and Carmen actually, she's able to buy herself time by like chopping off that little like tendon thing. They're about to kill her, but then that's when Rico comes in, and he's just like, yeah, you know what this is, don't you, big boy?
And he like walks right up to it, and then like at that point,
well, it backed out, right? So he goes, he basically intimidates it, and that's brilliant because it's a brilliant play. Because look, if you're gonna kill us anyway, I'm taking you with me, and your whole plan goes to shit. All these other bugs are done. We're gonna fuck your shit. We're gonna fuck your shit up. And so it backs out and slinks away through the hole. Meanwhile, they make their way out of that cave, and lo and behold, while they made their way out, Doogie Howser and his peeps were extracting the other one. They had nets around it and all that shit, like cargo nets, and they're pulling it. And that's when he puts his hand on it. Now that it's naked to the world, it's outside under the beating sun, and that's when he puts his hand on it and he waits.
And it was Zim the one that caught it.
Yeah, because as Rico and company are fleeing, they're communicating. They're like, all right, it's heading westbound or whatever. Someone else is going to go route it while they're like fighting off the rest of the bugs, and then they have to basically blow the tunnel to save themselves.
But yeah, it was, and they're like, it was caught by Zim.
That was kind of cool too. Like I didn't mind the fact that it happened off screen. I like that it wasn't caught by one of the main characters, because Zim is a cool character too, and you kind of get the sense that he was pretty effective himself on the battlefield. So it's not too surprising that he would have been the one to catch it, right? But I thought it was cool because he salutes Rico, and he's just like, it's Private Zim now, and so he's just like, all right, carry on, Private. So it's like the tables have turned in that regard, but like there's no ill will or like bad blood between them. There's that mutual respect.
Yeah, there is. And the thing is that he never he did not disrespect him at the beginning when he's going through basic training and all that. He when he fucks up, right, and that guy gets popped in the head, he gives him that piece to bite down on his mouth with his mouth when he's going to get whipped, and he tells him under his breath, he says, do this, like this is going to help. Down. He says, trust me, I know. So you realize he's been lashed before too.
Yep.
So it's like he knows what he had to go through.
what I love about the movie though is it doesn't come immediately to like a close. Like it shows you what they've learned from the bug and
More
like how to
propaganda.
attack them. And like there's like they have like rifles that fire like basically shotgun ammo now, and it like just
It's like
destroys the
explosive
fucking bug.
ammunition now.
Yeah, it's like boom, and you're like, and it's like, would you like to know more? And it's like click click, and then it like goes to the credits. And you're like, what?
Dude, I
Yeah.
love that. And it also showed that they're studying the brain bug, but like they don't give a fuck, dude. They're being as invasive as possible. They're like fucking like going from all orifices.
Yeah, they're like stabbing into its asshole and shit. It's so fucking funny, dude.
So it's like the bugs are, they're getting theirs. We've learned from our mistakes. And it's like, again, it's the whole propaganda thing. So it's like, you can be like Captain Carmen Ibanez, or you can be like Lieutenant Johnny Rico, do your part, and we're going to fight and we're going to win.
Mm-hmm.
You almost feel like the movie is like a instructional video for you to join the resist, like to join. You know what I mean? Like
Basically, yeah.
you leave the theater
Again.
walking away going, all right, when can I sign up?
Yeah. That propaganda.
Yeah, I thought that was a great way to end the film, and
Mhm.
I like the fact that it kind of ended on some levity. It brings that camp back again before it closes out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's true. It ends, like I said, it ends with like like don't worry, this whole thing's just been propaganda, but it was enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a wrap on Starship Troopers. If you made it to the end of our podcast, then the brain bug just sucked your brains out.
Ouchie.
Any final thoughts or closing comments?
Dude, I feel like my brain is completely full of like useless information about all these films, and it's just so enjoyable to come back each time and talk about something that either you love or Mike loves or I love or we all three love simultaneously, and then to bring together the culture of like what that also led to and like how we correlated that to other items and other aspects of our lives, games or other television series,
Oh, yeah.
what the characters were in later. So I just really appreciate you letting me back on the podcast and doing such a fun film.
Oh, it's a pleasure having you. This has been a blast. This is a good time.
And I'm glad that you finally got to be on an episode with both of us this time.
Yeah.
Michael was supposed to be on the RoboCop one, but that didn't quite work out. So yeah, I'm glad that we got to run it back, and it's still a Verhoeven film.
Still Verhoeven.
That's right. Let's do Thing. Have you done Thing yet?
No, we haven't.
We should.
Let's do Thing.
We should do The Thing and then Wild Things.
Oh,
they have like nothing to do with each other.
Down.
Just really quick, I know a lot of people kind of talk about Starship Troopers. Like, I think they jokingly make fun of it, and they're saying like no one actually likes that movie, but I legitimately love this movie, unironically, right? And a lot of people call it like basically a high budgeted B movie. I mean, how do you guys feel about it?
I wouldn't say it's a B movie. I would say that it was definitely a blockbuster, in my opinion, when it came out.
Same, yeah.
So I don't think it's a B movie by any means. And none of the actors were considered, I don't think they were considered like B-rated actors at the time. But I would say it's definitely very fun. It's got all the elements of drama, fantasy, sci-fi, action for sure, and a really good story. And like I said, any movie that's going to be based on some piece of literature from the past typically has some good standing in what it's going to bring to the table. And I think the only drawback that most people have from it is they're like, oh, it's too campy or it's too aggressive or it's too this. But it's like, no, it's purposely that.
Right.
And if you keep that in mind, that it's purposely this element, that fascism that you see in it, that I mean, down to their outfits in the movie. If you keep that in mind and go, that was on purpose. It wasn't accidental. That wasn't.
Yeah, it all adds to the atmosphere, right?
Then I think that you look at it and you go, that's not a B movie. That's an A+ movie. So, just my thoughts.
Yeah, I think it flirts with it. I think it's hard because there's no A-list actors in it, right? I mean,
Right.
Casper Van Dien is a no-namer at that time, unless he did something else. Again, don't really know him from anything else. And then Denise Richards had done something else before that I'd seen her in with what's his name from Fast and the Furious,
Paul Walker.
Why can't Paul Walker? They were in this movie where she's his girlfriend and he becomes a T-Rex. It's the weirdest
Whoa.
B movie ever. But so she was in that B movie, which is a hardcore B movie. And so because there's no real star power, if we're gonna qualify this movie, if if it's an A-list blockbuster, then it doesn't hit that mark with their acting in terms of who these people are recognized as being.
Sure.
But I would still argue that it's weird. It's in this sort of in between where the quality of the acting is good. I liked it. I personally, I mean, they're tugging at the heartstrings, like you said before,
Right.
with Diz especially. And I think the delivery, I think the weird placement of it being in Buenos Aires is like is odd. I feel like that, and there's some little kitschy things. Regardless, I still thought that it had star power. I think that it had a really good story.
I agree.
I agree, and it had a budget of 100 million, which at that time was still a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
I
not
don't
low
think
budget.
you don't throw $100 million at a B movie, right? And I think they wanted some unknown characters because this was good. I think they genuinely thought this might become a franchise,
Like a career maker for sure.
and because it only made like 120 mil in the box office, but then became kind of a cult classic for a lot of people.
Hell yeah.
I think had it done a little bit better, I think it had at least doubled had it done 200 million at the box office, I think that you would have seen these characters coming back and making reprisals in other
Maybe
roles.
even have Verhoeven direct that one, the sequel, right?
Yeah, if it had done well commercially.
But to be honest, I feel like the movie is good enough to stand on its own, and not everything needs to be a franchise. And so
Agreed.
I'm fine with it just being its own movie. And to be honest, I kind of consider it just the first movie. I don't really even think about the sequels at all.
I didn't even realize there were any. This stands alone. It's kind of like I don't know, it's like a Radiohead song or something. It's not for everybody, and so it's not going to be a blockbuster hit per se, even though it had blockbuster spectacle and action and the whole love story. It had all the elements of a good blockbuster movie. It just didn't. It's unapologetically itself, and I think that's why it stands alone, and it's just a badass flick.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's still withstanding the test of time, is because of the fact that it's standing on business, right? Like you said, unapologetically itself, and it knows what it is. It's going to lean into that, and you like it or you don't.
That's it.
Well, aside from RoboCop, can you think of another movie that's quite like it?
No, not really.
I mean, those two movies, the way that they're commercially set up, the campiness, the commercialization inside of it,
the awesome effects.
If you really think about it, you know how much I love RoboCop, but RoboCop really dealt with like commercialization, infomercials coming out and information being thrown at advertisements being everywhere. And in this movie, I really felt like really took the internet on and was like, because everything, it wasn't commercials, it was clickables.
Yeah.
It was like, would you like them more? And you'd click on it, And so I really felt like they brought, the internet revolution into the movie as well, and really brought that to the forefront. So
yeah, I love it. I definitely agree with you guys. I do think it's in that weird like kind of middle ground where it's not quite a B movie. Like it could have easily been a B movie if the acting was terrible or the effects were terrible.
Eating her.
Yeah, or the story was trash. But I think it had no reason being as good as what it was. And obviously I think it's a little bit too like zany to be like a AAA like award-winning movie, but I think it's up there, and it's fucking holding its ground. It's defending Whiskey Outpost from like all the haters, and it knows what it is, and it doesn't give a fuck what you think about it.
Yeah.
I love that you love it. You know what I mean? Like that's the best thing in life, is when you can enjoy something purely on the fact that you enjoy it, regardless of what the math may think.
Exactly.
So, dude, stay true.
Are you guys watching anything lately? Film or TV, or playing anything?
Dude, just playing a lot of video games, a lot of Elden Ring with Logan.
Elden Ring, man. That's consuming all your time.
All of it.
Yeah, I just I was watching A Place in the Sun before watching this movie. I watched this movie just before we got on, finished it just before we got on, and yeah, that movie. Oof, that one. If you haven't seen it before, with Montgomery Clift and Elizabeth Taylor, that one is it hits you hard. 1951 was when it was released. It's in black and white.
51, dang.
51, and it's just a story that will fucking wreck your mind a little bit.
I'll have to watch that.
So beautiful and sad and relate. It's just like you can really just see like, oh, even in 1951 they're dealing with issues that, gosh, this guy he's stuck in between a rock and a hard place. But it's just kind of nice that I happened to be watching it with my mom, and I think the first time I saw it, same thing happened. It was on Turner Classic Movies, and so you get the little intro, you get a little bit of the backstory about the movie from the guy. And it's just so nice to have that little tidbit of information instead of just going right into it. So you're asking what if anything that I've been watching, and that's literally what I was watching before this. And I didn't finish it. I was like, I gotta watch Starship Troopers. But oh my gosh,
yeah, jump back in after this episode.
yeah, basically, because it's like halfway through. One of my all-time favorite movies. I saw it that one time before, and it's up there for me with Splendor in the Grass, which is another really good one.
That's different from Slender Man in the Grass.
Different than him, yeah. Slender Man in the Grass. That one's it's got some different vibes altogether.
Well, really quick, I saw a couple movies. Saw Strange Darling on Paramount Plus. That's kind of like a little psychological thriller sort of movie, and I like it because in a lot of ways it plays with your perceptions of the characters, not unlike Memento, where it's like as the movie progresses, your ideas of the characters evolve.
Ooh, I like
Cool
that.
shit.
I like that.
Pretty crazy. The other one I saw was Jaws in 3D at theaters. I had never seen Jaws before, and it was the 50th anniversary like re-release, and I was like, "Fuck, let's do it!" And in 3D, not Jaws 3D because that one was trash, but Jaws 1 in 3D.
Dude, you know what's funny about that movie? We talked about this when we did the Jurassic Park, but there was a picture that Steven Spielberg took, like with the shark after it was all destroyed.
Yeah.
And somebody like posted like as a joke, like this is why like we can't have wildlife,
Oh my God.
because people like him destroy it. And it was like, this is terrible. Like, and there was like so many comments. And then somebody posted the bottom, like, if you think that's bad, you should see what he did to this dinosaur.
Yeah, the Triceratops.
Yeah.
So stupid.
And literally, like, people were losing their minds. They're like, this is why dinosaurs aren't even around anymore.
Steven Spielberg, man, he's killing everything. No one is safe when he's around.
That's right.
But honestly, like, I think that I finally get why that movie's so legendary. I mean, that's such an old movie, but man, that movie holds up, and I love the style of it. I love the fact that they don't show you the shark for like most of the movie, and it's from like the first person perspective. I thought a lot of the decisions that Steven Spielberg made in that movie were fucking excellent. The practical effects, like that shark, just like the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, were such a pain in the ass to work with, but it's so worth it, dude, because they age like fine wine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Highly recommend that movie.
That was the best part of that movie, is that you don't see the shark, I think, for the first like 90% of the film.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like crazy how long it goes before you actually see how big the shark is.
Terrifying too. Like you can pay me enough to like pretend like I'm like being eaten by a mechanical shark. That thing looked too real. Hell no.
No.
Just go ahead and slip it into its mouth there. Yeah. Perfect.
That's crazy.
All right, Cam. Thanks again for joining us on the show. You kill bugs good, man.
You kill bugs good.
Yeah.
No, dude, brother, it's always wonderful.
You're like our go-to sci-fi specialist, I feel like.
Dude, I just love cinema. You know that. That's why I always say I love movies more than I love TV shows, because I love that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. So I appreciate being back on the show, man. I'll be back anytime you ask. I'm always down.
Hell yeah.
And shoot me over another list of movies that you want to do. So I know that you're listing a few. So yeah, send me a list and we'll write them down.
Absolutely.
Dude, right on.
Sounds good.
Anything else you want to say before we close out?
Just that I appreciate you both. I appreciate what you bring to the table. And I still can't figure out how to get your merch, man. I went to the thing and I tried to buy stuff, but it won't let me do anything. Am I doing it wrong?
I could send you the link. Yeah.
Send me another link. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Appreciate it, brother.
Well, with that said, you can find us wherever you normally get your podcasts. New episodes drop on the first Saturday of each month, 5 a.m. Pacific. If you'd like to know more, leave us a like, comment, or subscribe. Thank you all for listening and joining Cameron, Michael, and myself. This has been Aflixionados Podcast, episode 59, Starship Troopers, and we'll see you all next time.
Hey.
Bye, guys.
Medic!